be asked to multiply and then simplify the result. And in fact, these are the instructions that should be on every question. Okay? So when you're looking at a problem like this, the first step in multiplying two rational expressions is to factor everything completely. And in doing this, you're going to write it as a single fraction. And now, as I write these through, I'm not going to write them as a single fraction, but I'm going to treat them as a single fraction. You can write it as a single fraction if you want. But as you go through this first fraction right here, I'm going to factor. The difference of squares factors into the sum and difference of the terms being squared, which are y and 3. And then in the denominator, I can remove a common factor of y, leaving y minus 3. So here's my first fraction written as factors. What I then tend to do is I just kind of draw another fraction right next to it. I'll use the mid dot to represent multiplication, but you could also just continue with one fraction bar. The next fraction, I have a y in the numerator, and when I factor my denominator, once again here, I can use trial and error. The two factors of positive 18, whose sum is positive 9, are plus 6 and plus 3. Okay, and when I talk about treating this as or writing this as a single fraction, what really winds up happening is right here, this is just all one fraction. So all the factors along the bottom, are the denominators, all the fractions along the numerators, you could just, or all the factors along the numerators, you could just treat it as a single fractions for those. Okay, once you do that, then your second step is to cancel any common factors. And again, here's where you can treat them, because you're treating it all as one single fraction. The factor y plus 3 from the second fraction in the denominator can cancel with the same factor in the numerator. The y minus 3's cancel, the y's cancel. We're left with nothing, so it reduces down to a 1 in the numerator, and then a y plus 6 in the denominator. So here is my simplified fraction. And then when I find any additional domain restrictions, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for factors that got canceled from the denominator. So here's one, here's a second one, here's a third one. Okay, it's possible that they repeat. Okay, if they repeat, don't include it twice. Okay, but when you're looking for the restrictions on y, we already see that y can't be negative 6. So we're not going to include that. That is apparent in its simplified form. What's not apparent, though, is that y can't be 0, y can't be 3, and y can't be negative 3. So we're going to include those as additional domain restrictions.